This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
He was a Giant, and he was a Cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
Good evening.
How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing good. Hey, I'm going to get something straight right now. I grew up on the Jersey Shore in Clifton, New Jersey. I'm going to get it straight so we understand each other. Through the 70s, I was a huge Giants fan.
Yes, I'm glad you're saying that.
But the Cowboys destroyed them, so I wanted to be with winners. So that's why I got drafted by the Cowboys. I wanted to win games.
Well, what about in the 80s? What happened in the 80s?
I ran touchdowns against the Giants.
Well, I know the Bill Parcells started turning that ship around, though.
But I ran touchdowns against them to win the NFC East.
Yeah, and we won the 87 Super Bowl and the 91 Super Bowl, and we was, that was the era of Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson, those great guys. But it was really the Cowboys and the Giants during that time frame.
Well, you got to say the Redskins too.
Yeah, I forgot.
They were the Redskins.
The Redskins won in they won in 87.
And then Philly was always a hard out. They weren't very good. They never won anything, but they were a hard out. Washington won, and New York won. The Cowboys didn't win in the 80s.
Yeah. And the good thing too, the NFC was the division.
Yes.
Of everybody. That's the number one division in football.
Well, here's an interesting thing. Every week, at least 3 NFC East teams have won. It's going to change at the end of the season because they'll be playing each other. Yeah. So the Giants haven't played Philadelphia. Cowboys played Washington and Philadelphia and won both.
Right.
So and the Giants have played Washington and won. So then I think Philadelphia's played Washington.
And the Giants played the Cowboys too. Yeah, up there. So it's going to get interesting. This is going into week number 8.
Yeah. And here's the interesting thing about how the Cowboys' schedule is they play the Giants on Thanksgiving. And they play Philadelphia on Christmas Eve, which is interesting how the schedule makers did it. So
and then they went to London and played Green Bay Packers. So the Giants had a real good, interesting schedule this year, and people thought they were going to be a kickover,
Yeah, they did, and they showed Brian Duvall showed they weren't. But they're going to have a tough game in Seattle. That's a long way to go.
Yeah, I used to hate that trip going over to Seattle.
Yeah.
Jason.
Well, here we go. Jason's moving to Gunther, Texas. He's moving way north. He's almost in Oklahoma.
He moving over there?
Yeah. He read in the Dallas Morning News this morning that Gunther is becoming one of the most popular places north of Dallas. So he's moving there.
Well, when I was in the track and turf business, I used to go through there and just took a glance, and next thing you know, I was out of the town. So I don't know if you want to go over there.
Jason, Jason's going. We work out every morning, but now he's going to live 40 miles north. He can't.
They might have put one red light over there now, so maybe so. They may be growing a little bit.
So because of that, I'm not talking about Minnesota anymore.
Minnesota, I got an interesting thing to say about people coming off the bye week. Did you know that most teams, all the teams in the last couple of years since they incorporated the bye week, is 49, 59, and 2 coming out of the bye week. Wow. And a lot of people don't know that. Team coming off the bye week they haven't been winning a whole lot. They have lost more than they won.
Well, speaking about that, what happened to Chicago? Because they came off a bye week and destroyed New England.
Well, I think New England took them lightly too, and
You think so?
it was two games. Just think the first half, New England they scored 14 points in the second quarter. New England looked like they were going to be in control, but I just think too, you can't take teams lightly no more. You really can't.
No, you can't. Unless they're at night and it's Minnesota with Kirk Cousins, then you can take them lightly.
Kirk Cousins gonna run out of gas, you think? But
he does Kirk Cousins things at night.
No, but look, let me tell you something though. We did predict Minnesota Vikings gonna be tough. They'll have a great year. We did predict that.
Yeah, and I got Dalvin Cook on my fantasy team. So.
But Green Bay have really let a lot of people down.
And that's the next thing we can talk about is Green Bay. And I'm going to give you my opinion.
Okay.
If you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. But here's my opinion on it. Aaron Rodgers is talking about these young players making mistakes, and he's telling the truth. If you make 10 mistakes in a game and you play 60, 65, that's only 50 plays you have to make a positive play. So so the thing is, you got to understand is he's complaining about this, but where was he at in the offseason?
Yeah, he wasn't there. He wasn't there with him.
He never went there to work out with those players.
Yeah,
and he knew he had young players, so it's as much his fault as it is those young players because somebody has to teach them.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Jason, Kirk Cousins, yes, he's gonna wear sunglasses. Because he's going to try to see at night, and he can't see. He gets nervous when the lights come out. The stars shine bright when the lights come out.
Hey, you and Jason are gonna have some muscles the week of the Cowboys Viking game because y'all gonna be working out hard.
He ain't gonna be working out anymore. He's gonna be in Gunther, Texas.
Oh, he's moving.
Yeah,
man.
He getting married next year and everything.
It's a whole new chapter for you. Congratulations, Jay.
Yeah. And he can't come out and work out because he got a gas car and 40 miles both ways. That's 80 miles.
That's traveling.
His fiance has a Tesla, so she can do it.
Oh yeah, she can put that thing on cruise and ease on down the road.
Yeah.
So you thinking Green Bay? And I agree with you a lot. Kirk Cousins got to spend a little bit more time with the younger players and.
Oh, you mean Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers needs to spend a little bit more time with the younger players and get that confidence up. I think that's probably a large percent of it. The confidence and them not having the confidence that they need. They're making mistakes, but somebody needs to step up. That's what you expect. And I think they got a couple players that's on the verge of really making. Oh
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And he lost his security blanket because Randall Cobb is out for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
and they go to Buffalo next week.
Yeah, and I was looking at Von Miller not too long ago today, and he was saying that their defense is playing knockout football. Buffalo defense. They ranked in the top.
Yeah.
And their offense is ranked number 1 in the NFL.
Yeah.
330 yards passing.
Yeah. Leslie Frazier is a Jim Johnson, used to be at the Philadelphia Eagles disciple.
Yeah.
And so is McDermott.
Yeah.
Jim Johnson was a tremendous coach. So.
Well, the good thing that I see in a lot of games, now we're seeing some more points being scored by the offensive side of the ball, which is good. Make it more exciting,
Yes, I would agree. But here's the thing, where we can talk about it now, is do you think there's going to be a lot of points scored in Minnesota and Arizona?
I think so. I think both teams going be ready to fire. They got both offensive weapons going to be ready to go. I think now in the middle of the season, a lot of teams are start opening up the playbooks and making things happen. And then special teams is another consideration. I think, you'll see these run backs on some of the kickoff and punt returns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. I think that Arizona has. I've said this before. I think that there's a disconnect between Cliff, and I think that Kyler Murray is Kyler Murray. He's about Kyler Murray. He's not about the team.
Yeah, I think he needs to learn. I don't know. It's real weird, especially after he signed that contract and they talked about they talked. Kerber study. Yeah, they talked about him studying. They showed a clip of him in the film room.
Of course they're going to do that. He probably had his Instagram on, looking real quick, make sure nobody look at the Instagram. Well,
I think he trying to. I think he trying to prove people wrong. He been putting time into the.
But obviously, he hasn't right now.
But they also have DeAndre Hopkins back, which he caught 10 passes last week.
Yeah, he did.
So that was a good thing.
It was. It's a shame that Hollywood Brown got hurt because he was having a good job, a good year. So you're picking Arizona over Minnesota, huh?
I am picking Arizona over Minnesota.
Wow.
Minnesota, they ain't really dominating no game. Really, they've been winning. They ain't dominating. It ain't like they going to beat somebody 24-6 like the Cowboys. I just want to say that score 24-6, but
hey, winning is winning.
Yeah.
You get all those turnovers.
Yeah, and the good thing about football is what I love about now. And in a given week, you're gonna have I do it. Jason, every now and then I got to make you mad. I got to ruffle your collar a little bit. Ruffle your collar. But
you heard it here first, Jason.
Hey, but you know what? Really, Arizona's not a bad team. And I'm thinking now that they have DeAndre Hopkins back, they're gonna play a lot of hard it's gonna be a different game. It's a different game now.
In Minnesota, you know that.
Huh?
It's in Minnesota.
I don't. Minnesota, they the type of team whether they play the same on the road and away. I mean, on away and at home, they still play the same amount of type of football.
The most irritating thing about playing in Minnesota is that darn horn. I hated that thing.
I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
It might be one of those type of games. Whoever got the ball last win the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's at 12 o'clock. So
early game.
Yeah.
You think
Arizona, that's 10 o'clock.
Do you think Kirk Cousins is gonna be up and awake and ready to go?
Yeah, because he's all right in the morning. It's in the evenings he struggles. He can't stay awake. And then if he plays well, you know what he's gonna say. You like that? Do you really like that?
Well, week 8, man, this is my favorite week.
Yeah.
8 mean that you ought to be ready. Yep. Shouldn't be making no more mistakes. You should. You kind of like teams gonna kind of start separating themselves.
Yeah. Now we got an early game. Denver plays Jacksonville in Wembley Stadium in London, and Denver's got all. They're saying now, this is interesting, that if Hackett doesn't do well this game, they might fire him right after the game. So here's my issue. If they fire him after the game, how he gonna get home? He might not let him on the plane.
He might be like that. He might be like that punter. It might be like the kicker for the Giants. He stayed on there. That 3 or 4 days afterwards.
Conveniently lose his passport.
Yeah.
And like, where's Hackett at? He's gone. Hey, he ain't got a passport. He can't come home. Oh, by the way, don't worry about it. We got somebody else for you. Wow.
But you know what? When I went over there and played in the World League, it was fun playing over there. I mean,
I played there twice.
Yeah, people they really love football players over there, and they love the game of football anyway. They just love soccer and they love football. They love it.
Yeah, I have to be careful what I say about that because our producer got mad at me because I told him that I don't know how well they know football, and he got upset. Soccer, yes, but American football, he said, that's not true. They know football. So we're going to find out.
Well, you know, our producer is a sports guy. He knows sports inside and out. So I agree with it. Whatever he said, I'm going to agree. That's why he had to show
that's because you missed the show. That's the only reason.
No, that's why he showed you that real nice Giant jacket of 1986. That's what you need to think about all night. You need to have dreams about that tonight.
My stomach was hurting like I had food poisoning. It wasn't the real blue. There's only one real blue.
Whatever.
Here it is. This is blue.
He just showed you my jersey that he gonna give me. He probably give me that jersey. I tell you what. No, but you know, I just think it'll be interesting to see what happened with Jacksonville and Doug Peterson in that group. I mean, they played the Giants really tough last week.
Yeah, they did. They did, but
so I'm thinking,
can't get over. They're kind of in a situation where they can't get over the hump.
You know, Denver is in a situation where, you know, they had high expectation. You know, they were big on Russell Wilson coming on board, and they were talking about their defense, how good the defense was. But man, something that's not there. The chemistry is not there for some reason.
Yeah, and now they're talking about trading Bradley Chubbs, Jerry Jeudy, and starting all over again. That's interesting.
They're trying to get some players out there to get in a position to start drafting some players, and that might be why they talking about maybe having a new coach.
Yeah, and then here's the thing: trades today. The Philadelphia Eagles traded for Robert Quinn, but here's an interesting thing about Quinn.
Yeah,
is he last year he had 8.5 sacks. This year through 7 games, he's only had 1. And I looked at his history, and I like Robert. He was here. John Blake's. He was here at the Dallas, but he also was at John Blake's funeral. Coached him, defensive line coach, and he coached him at the University of North Carolina. And he had a brain tumor, and it was benign, and they took it out, and he had to miss some of his senior year. Right. But that was interesting that he only had 1 sack this year in 7 games. And that happened before. He had like 11.5, and then the next year he had 2. Then he went.
What you think? What you think was going on with him? Maybe he went out of there.
They said that he didn't.
Okay.
He didn't. But now, you know, he goes to a team that's got Super Bowl aspirations.
And plus, the Eagles have seen him play quite a bit because he had some good games against the Eagles when he was playing with the Cowboys.
Yeah, he did. He's a tremendous player. So it's going to be interesting because that helps the Eagles' pass rush rotation.
And they're going to help their rotation. Exactly right.
Yeah. So
I agree with you.
So that's going to help them. That's going to make them more.
Well, you know, if you stop to think about it, the Eagles kind of doing what the Rams did last year. They kind of getting certain pieces and certain players come in and insert them to make that Super Bowl run. The Eagles are serious about going to the Super Bowl.
Right. And they got a lot of draft picks, too. They gave a 4th rounder for him, which I think is a little bit too much, but they gave a 4th rounder.
Yeah, it's just going to be hard. It's going to be hard when the Eagles and the Giants played in that championship game, and we beat them by 3 points, and they did all that for nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be hard when the Eagles and the Giants are watching the Cowboys play in the championship game against Minnesota. So, yeah, I agree with you.
All right, we'll see. It's really interesting, too. By this time last year, the Cardinals was undefeated.
True, that's what I was saying.
Everybody was talking about, the Cardinals going to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Just like everybody talking about the Eagles right now, undefeated, you know, and they putting them the NFC East champ. But hey, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's right.
We got some more games to play.
I agree. So, you know, that's something we got to do. And then the Cowboys picked up a defensive lineman, Jonathan Hankins, big guy, and he's a 10-year vet. Yeah, and he helps them in their run defense. That is my biggest concern about the Cowboys watching them.
Yeah.
Is can they stop the run? And they have struggled against the run.
Hey, I'm gonna see if we can get a contract with Starbucks.
Yeah. I like
Starbucks. I'm working on that. Yeah, we need a sponsor. We got to get us a sponsor.
Yeah. We do definitely need one.
But no, the defensive end that they traded for coming in, is he pretty good player?
Yeah, he's an interior guy, and he plays the run really well, and that's what they need. They need somebody big and can disrupt the run plays.
Yeah,
and I think that. And then they also got a DB. I can't recall his name right now, but
Jordan Lewis got hurt, and he's out.
Yeah, he's out for the year with a Liz Frank injury.
Yeah.
So they brought in a DB who played for Dan Quinn at Atlanta.
Yeah, Dan Quinn was liking him. That's what he was saying.
So and here's the one that is going to shock you. They drafted a middle linebacker from LSU named Damone Clark, and he had a fusion on it was either his back or neck. He had surgery, and he wasn't supposed to play this year. They activated him this week too.
What?
Yeah, they activated him, and I think it's for special teams myself, but we'll see. So they activated him.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't understand this, but it's good that these guys can come in and play special team. They can play nickel in the defensive schemes, as well as inserting them in the pass rush scheme. So that's really good. That
you're exactly right, because Sam Williams last week, he came in. He's a rookie from Ole Miss.
Right.
2 sacks, and that was a beautiful strip he had to take the ball. Now, here's the thing is that you got to get nervous anytime you touch a quarterback. Micah Parsons hit Jared Goff.
Right.
And he didn't even wrap him up, and they called roughing the quarterback.
I saw that. And that just make you more aware that certain things you have to let up now. You can't do what you used to do 3 or 4 years ago.
No, and we haven't even talked about Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay lost to Carolina. And
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. And then the big controversy was, did Mike Evans give an official an autograph? I didn't understand that one. He says he didn't. He said it was about golf lessons.
Oh, they were talking during the game. I'm talking on the sideline.
After the game.
Oh, after the game.
Talking. And they were in the tunnel, and somebody videoed him, and he was getting his information because the referee is from
Texas. Okay, from Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's from Texas, and he's from Bryan, and he was giving Mike information on a golf pro. And somebody said, well, he's getting an autograph. The referee's getting an autograph. It wasn't that. And the NFL didn't make a big deal of it. But it's interesting what kind of world we're living in.
Well, that just goes to show you got to be real cautious of what you're doing and who you're doing it with. And when you're on that football field, when you're going into the tunnel, when you're walking outside to your car, those things are very uncharted territory. Now you got to be careful who you navigate with, who you communicating with, because it's a lot of scams out here. A lot of people are thinking the wrong thing, and so it's a different world that we live in.
Yeah. And then Tampa Bay is going to miss 4 starters for their game.
Yeah,
and they already got issues. They said that Todd Bowles, who's usually mild-mannered, was yelling and screaming at the players. And
that's out of character for him. Exactly.
And very out of character. And they're saying that, they got some issues. Tom Brady, finally, age has probably caught up with him. And without the talent that he's had in the past, he's struggling. And that's kind of shocking because 2 weeks in a row, they lost to the Steelers. Now they lost to Carolina. And Carolina was playing with their 3rd-string quarterback, P.J. Walker.
P.J. Walker came in and had a good game.
Yeah.
You think he was in the XFL again?
Yeah, that's the way I was about to say.
Yeah.
Tyler Heineke from Washington couldn't start in the NFL. I mean, the XFL. P.J. Walker was a star, but both of them won on Sunday.
They both won.
And they were former XFL.
And I'm happy for those players. I'm always for the underdog. I'm always for the underdog. And I'm glad. It's good to see that because it gives hope to players to let them know that you still have a dream and inspiration to play in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Continue to go shoot after your dream, but don't wait till you're in your 30s and get bad knees. That's a whole different story.
That's true. And another situation is Mike Pennell. He played in the XFL too.
Yeah.
And he played the AAF. And I know what they're saying, but I still don't understand it. That was a part of the game. If you get an interception, Mike Pennell is a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
And he peeled back on an offensive lineman and cleaned his clock.
But that guy had concussions. He has concussions and stuff afterwards, though.
Yeah,
I mean, that was just a normal play back in the day.
That's what I'm saying.
It's illegal. It's illegal.
Yeah, they kicked him out of the game.
Kicked him out of the game. He went to the locker room and took a shower.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm pretty sure they're gonna find him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he playing. Yeah.
But here's the thing that I don't understand, and I was watching that game, is Zappe kicked while he was sliding. He kicked the player in his groin.
I saw that.
And he didn't get flagged.
Well, sometimes when you going down and your body is in an awkward position, sometimes your leg just come up sometimes too.
I'm
taking up for the offensive player.
You don't believe that.
I just know that sometimes, and plus you try to protect people from falling on you, so I can see that happening.
Yeah, there's been a lot of unusual stuff going on. Dalvin Cook when the last time Minnesota played before they played Miami, and he threw a ball into the crowd.
Yeah,
and they fined him for that.
Let me share something with you. A lot of people don't understand this. They getting it from the J&B Talking Shop. You have more cameras on the football field than ever before.
You're right.
So guess what? You can see stuff that you've never seen before
That's
from all angles.
That's
That's why now you're seeing a whole lot more things that, man, I didn't believe that he did that. And so you're seeing a lot of it's a lot more cameras out there now.
Yeah, there is a lot. But I thought that was wild that they fined him. Maybe if he would have handed the ball, they wouldn't have fined him.
Yeah.
That have thrown it in. But I maybe they thought it might hit somebody. I don't know. But
so Jim, let me ask you something. Since you played almost 20 years. When you go out there on the football field and you see certain referees and you get to talking to some of them and you know them from time to time, some of these referees have favorites.
They do.
They have favorite players. They have favorite teams, and and that's why they keep coming back to that field. So, that plays a big factor.
Yes. It's how you treat them. Because I had this referee, I got more holding calls from him than anybody, and I said, "Hey man, this dude is just tearing my jersey. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Just get him one time."
Yeah.
No, he was calling. I got him now. I got him.
That's a good one. That was a good one. I'll tell you another one too that I saw this past weekend. When the defensive line, linebackers and stuff line up, it was a couple. Michael Parsons, one of them. His head was actually on the side of the ball.
Yes, I'm thinking, why did they called me all sides 3 times for that?
And I'm saying that. So sometimes they call what they want to.
Judge's responsibility.
Yeah, and then another thing. This is another thing that they can call offensive holding almost every play.
Every single play.
So I wanted to share that with the people and let them know that the game is still part of favoritism of what you like or who you like and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, they could call pass interference every play too, and pick plays. I mean, it's getting bad.
I saw a lot of pass interference this week that wasn't called.
Yeah. Here's the interesting thing. Did you know in college you can hit a receiver until the ball's in the air? Did you know
I
that?
didn't know that.
That's the rule. Yeah. So a lot of people teach their DBs. Nick Saban is to beat up the wide receivers, but let them go when the ball's in the air. It's not pass interference.
Well, when I work out receivers and I train certain receivers, I tell them what he hit the DBs at to make them not even do that no more. You punch it right up on the throat.
Oh,
Chop.
you see that they try to do that? Deion Sanders, what happened?
Oh yeah. But some guys got all kind of little tricks. You know, they got that little hand and they pull that jersey. They hit that waistline and they slow you down. So
they do. Yes.
I always have told receivers always attack the weaker part of the defensive back. And then when you line up and he's in the bumper run, well, don't try to go through the whole body. Just pick a side, cut him in half, and whatever side you pick, that's the side you attack. You never see the whole guy. You see the side, you see the half of the guy. So if I want to go inside, I'm seeing this side versus that side. So it's really how you can really come off the line of scrimmage, because a lot of guys can't make it to the NFL because they can't get off the line of scrimmage.
That is true. That it doesn't matter how fast, how athletic you are if you can't get off the line. But that's the same for defensive linemen. If they cannot get their hands off of them, they won't be very successful if they can't dip and get under people.
And for receiver, the first 5 to 7 yards is the key factor.
Yes.
Definitely pop and run.
Yeah.
And
right.
And now, you know, I make my receivers understand this. The field is 53 yards wide. Okay. 53 yards wide. So you got anywhere between 15 to 10 yards to play with before you get to the sideline. So and then you got the other receivers in the middle of the field, the receiver, the slot receiver, the tight end. So you got certain alleys and lanes that you have to creep. But a lot of teams now are playing cover 2. Back when I played,
that's what Chicago was doing.
They played a lot of cover 2. I mean, when they play 2, that means they got 2 safeties up here high, and that's good. A lot of guys need to know that, but it's still areas of the field.
And Chicago's got one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL, and that's why they can play that cover 2.
Yeah,
he can get. You have to have somebody who can play in space.
And that's what they were saying about Jordan Lewis, the guy that got hurt, number 2 for the Cowboys. Yeah, he played a special position because that inside slot, or either the tight end, and sometimes a lot of offenses will run off that inside receiver.
Yeah.
So
you're exactly right. But hey, let's get on to the games and give our picks for our games, because we got a little bit of time and we'll talk as we go. Okay. First game of the day is Denver against Jacksonville.
I'm taking Jacksonville because it's so much happening in Denver. Seems like they are trying to restructure the team and in the middle of the team. And like you said earlier, they might be talking about firing the coach. Hackett.
Yeah, I would go with you. And I think Denver's got too much going on behind the scenes. I think Jacksonville, struggled. Well, they play, but when they need to win, they struggle to win because they lost to Houston the week before, and then they lost to. They
really should have won the game against the Giants.
Yeah.
And they had all the opportunities, and I thought the referees gonna get them the game at the last drive.
Yeah, and they missed about 1 yard.
1 yard.
Yeah, 1 yard. So I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
Okay.
Next game is Carolina against Atlanta.
Atlanta right now. Atlanta is the better team. I'm just thinking, Atlanta will win that game.
Do you think so?
They're at home. Atlanta's at home.
Yeah, they're at home. But I'm gonna go with Carolina.
Why is that? Why are you going with Carolina?
I'm going with Carolina. They're fighting for their jobs. They're fighting for their livelihood. Those coaches.
I'm going with ATL. Okay. I'm putting Byron at ATL, and Jim is at.
And I think Carolina is. They have really good defensive players in Burns. The players that are there, they obviously got Robbie Anderson out there and Christian McCaffrey, but they have enough talent.
Well, how do they play on the road?
That's what I have to look at.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, they played at the Giants and lost 19-16. They played at they haven't been on the road a lot, believe it or not. They played Los Angeles Rams and lost 24-10.
Yeah, they went over to LA. Yeah, I remember that.
And they've only been on the road twice, which is interesting. And now they're at Atlanta. So you're right. It's probably not a good omen for them being on the road, but most of the games have been at home.
Yeah, they've been at home quite a bit.
Yeah. Next game is Chicago at Dallas.
The way Chicago played Monday night, this is a short week for them. So I'm thinking if they play like they played last week, Dallas is gonna have a hard time.
Chicago did play well, but they had for 15 days to prepare because they were on a bye week.
I'm going with Chicago. So before you say whatever you're about to say, I'm saying I'm going with Chicago. So
I'm going with Dallas.
I know you're going with Dallas.
I think it's going to be a good game, but I think Justin Fields, I've always liked Justin Fields. He's got some qualities I like. He's got a big arm. He can run, and he's a headache. And their running game is actually pretty good. But I think the Cowboys have a little bit more talent than they are, and I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Well, I just think it's going to come down to the O-line and the D-line play, and we'll see what happens.
If Robert Quinn was there, I'd be more worried.
Yeah, that's another thing. He's going to Philadelphia.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Robert Quinn, he was going to have 3 sacks against the Cowboys. He coming back down.
Probably would because Hutchinson had 2.
Yeah, Hutchinson sure did. He had a heck of a game.
Yeah, using speed to power, and he came.
He's going to mess around and get the rookie sack, all-time sack. He's going to be up there with Michael Parsons.
Yeah. Miami versus Detroit, at Detroit.
Well, Detroit played good at home, but I just think Miami just got too many weapons.
Yeah, you can't cover Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
They are the number one wide receiver combination right now, I think.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Miami too.
Yeah.
I think Detroit's going to play hard as they always do, but I just think Miami got too much. I mean, Tyreek Hill was just too tough. We talked about Arizona at Minnesota. I'm going to go with Minnesota.
I know you can go with Minnesota because you and Jason talk. I'm going to go with Arizona. I just think Arizona is going to flip the script. They flip the script. They're going to start winning some games.
If this was last year, I would have went with Arizona, but the NFC West hasn't been that quite good this year.
Yeah.
So go with Minnesota.
Okay.
Las Vegas at New Orleans. Interesting game today. They said even when Jameson Winston is healthy, Andy Dalton will be the quarterback.
Well, they had to make that decision because you want to get some consistency in the offense. You don't want to just because he was starting doesn't mean that he's gonna come back starting because they was almost even going into the season.
Yeah.
So they got to right now make some decision because right now they got some timing and some things going on the opposite side of the ball. So the Saints still gonna be tough to beat at home.
Yeah, I picked Las Vegas.
Why?
No, I'm not picking. I'm picking them to win, but I think Las Vegas is in a situation where they gotta win.
They gotta win. They spent too much money in the offseason not to.
Yeah, with Devontae Adams
and I know Darren Waller is still hurt.
No, he's coming back.
He come okay.
Yeah.
Well, that might be the help that they need.
Yeah, and Josh Jacobs. So I'm gonna go with Las Vegas.
You go Las Vegas. Okay, I'm gonna go with the Saints.
Okay, New England versus the Jets. They announced that Matt Jones will be quarterback.
Yeah, they said he would be back. Zappy, man, I don't see why they're going to talk about we're going to be a quarterback competition. It's Matt Jones team to me. I just feel like, what he did last year as a rookie and went to the Pro Bowl and all that. I think surely Matt Jones is his team, and I think he's going to come in and play a good game. And I know he have an ankle problem, but, he's still the better quarterback.
Well, the way I look at it is the Jets have been playing well. They lost their rookie, Breece Hall, the running back.
Yeah, I saw that.
He had knee injury, and they just traded for James Robinson. But they're playing good defense. They're playing hard on offense. And Zach Wilson looks like he's a franchise quarterback for them.
Zach Wilson have really matured.
Yes, and somebody had said this at the beginning of the year. New England might be the fourth best team in that division.
Well, it's about time for New England to be the fourth at the bottom of the pack. But I think the Jets have really proven, and they playing good team defense. And, like I said, you got to look at the coaches. Always look at the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be hard for the Patriots to beat the Jets this year.
Yeah, I would pick the Jets, and I can't believe I'm saying that. But
I'm picking the Jets too.
Yeah. Now here's an interesting game, and it might be closer than ever we had. Pittsburgh against Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because it's the Battle of Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh actually didn't play really bad against Miami in Miami. So, and then
this is the Eagles' time to just knock some more plugs out of the Steelers' head. So,
but no, here's the thing you said about the Eagles are coming off a bye week.
Yeah,
and I'm going to go with Pittsburgh just because you read that stat about the Eagles. I mean, bye weeks.
Well, I just think right now the Steelers is not playing good football. They don't look like they got much on offense. I mean, Harris and the timing of some of the receivers that's throwing the ball. So they ain't got no tight ends too. So I'm thinking that right now the Eagles gonna dominate that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with my pick on Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Because I picked Washington to upset Green Bay last week.
You were right on that.
Yeah. Tennessee at Houston.
Well, Houston been playing good football though. They're not a pushover, and I think right now the Titans are gonna start. They got the coaching edge. They gonna be. I think they'll go down there and beat them by at least 10 points.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I think that
Tennessee.
It's gonna be another tight game, and Henry's gonna have to run really well, and they're not gonna have if they leave it in Tannehill's hands, they're gonna lose.
Henry will have 150 yards rushing this week.
I don't think so. Not against Houston. Houston plays.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Washington at Indianapolis.
Well, Indianapolis, my running back is coming back this week, Taylor.
Yeah, you picked Jonathan. You picked him last week. I forgot about that to beat Tennessee.
Well, I'm picking them at home to beat the Washington Commanders.
Well, that's nice and dandy, but Washington's going to win another one.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they'll win. They'll beat Indianapolis. First of all, Ellinger is starting. Sam Ellinger is starting. And Indianapolis, there's another team. I think their head coach, Frank Wright, is fighting for the job, but there's been, 3 quarterbacks in the last 3 years, and none of them have been successful?
Yeah, they've been having some problems.
Yeah. And then the reason they benched Matt Ryan, first of all, he threw 9 interceptions, and he led the league in fumbles by a quarterback. Then he also has a contract. If he gets hurt, they have to pay him something like $17.5 million. But if he stays healthy, they only have to pay him. This is guaranteed $10.5 million, and next year guaranteed too.
Yeah, and Matt Ryan is his better days are behind him. So they got to start looking for a quarterback, and that's one of the teams that will probably benefit from the draft next year.
Yeah, they'll have Daniel Jones starting there next year. San Francisco versus you didn't even hear me.
San Francisco, man, the Kansas City Chiefs just went over there and just slapped the dog on them.
San Francisco had Los Angeles Rams, and Frisco's got something on the Rams. They play.
They have some on the Rams, but the Rams are coming off this bye week.
But you said the bye week is actually a disadvantage.
I know. But so I'm thinking the Rams got this. This is what the Rams got to turn the tide back to see if they can get back to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So who you pick?
I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick San Francisco.
Yeah, I think San Francisco gonna play better, but I'm gonna say the Rams because they had a week off. I'm gonna go against what I mentioned about team coming off the bye week.
I think Christian McCaffrey would be more involved in their offense.
Oh yeah, he gonna know the playbook.
Yeah,
he'll know the playbook this week.
And I just think the Frisco, they're starting to get Trent Williams didn't play well.
Well, they playing at the Rams though. They playing at the Rams.
Yeah, and those East Texas guys, you know what I mean?
The best guys ever played the game of football from East Texas.
Those East Texas guys, he played bad last week against Kansas City. But he got Frank Clark suspended for 2 games after he got after him.
That's funny there.
We got the New York Football Giants at Seattle.
Gonna be a good test for them. They're gonna fly across the northern part of the United States, and but the good thing about the Giants, they're playing good team football.
Yes, they are.
And Daniel Jones, I want to say this: he got the Offensive Player of the Week.
Yes, he did.
He had a 90-some% pass rating this week, and of course he ran the ball a couple of times when he had to, and he actually won the game for the Giants. And he's just showing good leadership. He's showing responsibility. He's showing maturity, and he's showing that he's all in, and he's gonna get a nice little contract at the end of this year.
Yeah. Daniel Jones is nice, and it's nothing against the Giants, but Seattle will win this game in Seattle.
No, I think Seattle have surprised themselves, but now they're going against a well-coached team, and they're going to get shocked.
But Seattle's a well-coached team.
Well, Seattle ain't no well-coached team. Seattle we talked about it. They had some coaching problem. That's why Warner left last year. Linebacker went to the Rams, but I'm thinking too, Pete Carroll, 72 years old. And I'm thinking, Brian, the ball gonna have a ball.
I'm gonna go with Seattle.
I'm going with the Giants.
I think Geno Smith is at a rejuvenated.
Well, you know what? Geno Smith gonna think he's gonna think he's playing with the Jets. The Giants gonna be all over him this weekend.
He's one of those.
We'll have 4 sacks against Geno Smith this week.
He's part of that band, the former Jets players.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. He's part of that.
So the next game is a big game. Green Bay at Buffalo. Rough Buff Bills Mafia.
Right now, Green Bay is all over the place. They won't win this game because they pointing fingers, and Aaron Rodgers is, he kind of mad at the way things are going. There's no unity in the locker room right now, especially when they left London. They didn't know they were going to win next week. They was all they were talking about all week. So they've been having problems with overall team morale. And I think right now ain't nobody playing better football than Buffalo.
Here's a Jeopardy question. I love Jeopardy, but okay. Who is the 3-time MVP that's only won 1 Super Bowl?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers the way it looked, he might not win no more Super Bowls.
That's right. And I think Buffalo there you go again. What you mentioned, Buffalo's coming off a bye.
They coming off a bye,
but they're at home, and I think they'll be fine against them. Dallas actually plays Green Bay coming off a bye in Lambeau Field, at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting. I'm going to monitor that.
Right now, nobody playing better than Buffalo.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. So we didn't talk about this.
What?
On Thursday night, tomorrow night, Baltimore is at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's got a lot of home games. Did you notice that?
I noticed that.
They must have a.
Well, they do play tomorrow night.
They had two.
Let me tell you this: Lamar Jackson need 57 yards from passing Steve Young for the all-time 5th place in quarterback rushing yards.
Wow.
So he'll probably get that against that Bucs defense tomorrow. So he gonna move ahead. He gonna move ahead of Steve Young, and that's pretty amazing. And in the short time that he's been in the NFL.
Yeah, that is amazing. Plus, I think Tampa Bay's issue is not just Tom Brady playing, but they lost Jason Pierre-Paul, who was a big part of there, and Dominic Sue.
Exactly.
People understand those voices in the meeting rooms, and I think that's affected them. And then, obviously, losing Gronkowski as Tom Brady.
The one thing about football, you can't put no patchwork together. You got to get some mature-minded players, and like you just said, the players that you just mentioned, Paul and those guys, Dominic Sue and all those guys was bringing it every week. It was hard. It was hard to run against the Bucs. It was hard to pass against the Bucs, and they played good physical defense.
You're right. And then Jason Pierre-Paul said that he's going to show Tampa Bay what they're missing. So I'm going to watch that tomorrow night just to see that.
But Tampa Bay, I don't think Tampa Bay they're gonna have a hard time beating the Ravens. I just think the Ravens gonna be the better team.
You do? I think the Ravens will win, but I don't know how close it was.
Hey Joe,
what's up, my man, Joe?
Joe, what's up?
Joe.
Yeah, I'm representing.
Joe.
This don't stand for New Jersey. This stand for New York.
Joe, they play in New Jersey, first of all, and we don't talk about go Giants here. We say go Cowboys. We got to get that right, Joe.
Joe, we love you over here. We love you from this side of town. Thanks, Joe. We appreciate you.
Hey, Joe, is Byron paying you to say that?
Hey, Joe, you know football. That's all I know. Joe knows football. Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater.
That was good in the 80s.
Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater.
But they gave up 2 touchdowns to a defensive lineman in the 80s.
Who is that?
Jim Jeffcoat. 67 and 27 yards.
You know what be? I had a 62-yard touchdown on them Cowgirls.
Well, I ran farther than you did.
Whatever they Cowgirls or whatever.
You can hate. You can hate all you want.
Every time I see Elton Wall, he put his head down. We had fun though. It's good. It's good living here amongst the Cowboys because I get to just to share the history of the Giants beating up on y'all.
Oh my goodness! But the last game of the week on Monday night is Cincinnati at Cleveland. Do you agree with me? Cleveland is the most disappointing team in the NFL.
They are, and right now, Joe Burrow he led the count of the first half. He had almost 350 yards in the first half. He said, "I'm going to get back," and he got his timing down. The receivers are running they playing fun football.
Yeah, I tried to get Tyler Higgins on my fantasy. Not Tyler Higgins, T. Higgins. I got T. Higgins, but they wouldn't let me get Tyler Boyd.
I'm the only guy that ever have a fantasy team. They go from the bottom. I'm going to get back. I'm going to go in there and start moving my players around.
Well, last week you lost for a young man from Frisco, Texas, that is a Cowboy fan. OJ ran over Jim. I don't play against OJ. OJ was shoot. He couldn't even walk when I saw him. OJ ran over.
That's the only juice of OJ Simpson.
Yeah. OJ Anderson. OJ Anderson never ran over me. Trust me. OJ Anderson sees me to this day and still shakes. And I like OJ.
OJ told me he carried you across the goal line.
No, that didn't happen. I played against OJ in St. Louis and New York. Now, I got to admit, one year we weren't very good in 1989. He did. You guys had the ball for 90 plays or almost, it was maybe 99. And that was the roughest game. It was hot out there. And OJ Anderson had a field day. He didn't run over me, though.
I don't know. I got to go back and check that out.
Yeah, you better check it out.
And now OJ and Lawrence Taylor, I think they got a podcast or something together.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, they're doing something together.
Yeah. So back to Cincinnati and Cleveland. You picking Cincinnati?
Yeah, I'm picking Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think the coach and it's kind of a shame because it's so dysfunctional in Cleveland. But Kevin Stefanski, their coach, has basically wrote his own ticket there on losing his job because they should have been better this year.
It should have been better. And one of the things that they said that they needed to do, try to win at least 6 games before Deshaun Watson gets back. Wow. Yeah. And they just doing the opposite.
And speaking of that, now another lady's coming out on Deshaun Watson.
What?
Yeah, saying that he and the massage stuff. This dude must have had a lot of time on his hand. He had like 50, I'm not trying to be funny, but he had like 50 masseuses.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Everybody in the shoot. I don't know who touched him now.
I don't understand why you need a massage to play football.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
maybe they might need to work out with you and Jason early in the morning.
Yeah, they might.
And learn how to get in shape and tone them muscles up and everything.
Yeah, get these guns, these guns are always popping and stuff.
Yeah, they popping. They sure is popping.
Yeah, I better unload them. I gotta.
Do you have any bullets? You have any bullets in those guns or what?
I got the big bullets in these big old guns.
You know what they say? TV do make you look big.
Well, I just have big muscles.
Okay. That's good. That's good. I guess that's why you grew up being a Giant fan.
No, I did, but I came to my senses.
Okay, your senses.
Yeah. And you know what they say about Texas. If you're not from there, you get there as soon as you can.
Put those 33s away.
Oh, man, there's some haters on this. There is some haters.
Well, you know what? The truth is coming out. That's why I love this show. The truth is coming out. Jim,
I got some people out there to tell you.
Hey, Jim can't dance and Jim don't have no muscles.
These are some. Look, it takes up all. You can't even see me anymore. These hands and guns are so big.
Hey, man, you know what? That's why that's why they came up with fantasy football right there. We live in a fantasy world right now. I tell you that.
Real quick, I know we only got a couple minutes, but Byron made it rain in Texas because he didn't want to play he didn't want me to beat him on the golf course on Monday, and that was very disappointing.
Hey,
rain dance.
Hey, if that's the truth, I would have took Jim club to his car. I made him carry his own clubs.
Oh man, Mac with 22s is talking about my 33s. I can't believe that. He got a size 20.
Way to go, Mac. Hey, you told the truth. That was good. And that was the joke of the day. 33s. Jim got them 33s.
Yeah.
And probably one of them, and Jim and Mac, probably one of them is on flat. On the other side.
Hey, Jimmy.
Oh, Joe, thank you. Hey, Joe. Thank you, Joe.
All right. All right, Joe. All right, Joe. I know where you live at. Be careful. I know where you live.